Alright, hello everyone. Yes, I'm using this bottle. The Monster Boy model again. Da, 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 da. Anyway. Yes, Med is here again. Yes, it's Bumble McFumbles again.
Oh,
We'll eventually do probably some more learning about Mech Warrior. Probably later. Oh, the whole series is called Mech or Battle Tech, isn't it? No, wait. I'm probably wrong.
no.
Don't remind me of all this. Anyway, I played Metal Gear Solid Rising. I beat the whole game. The boss with Jetstream Sam is very annoying. And anyone that says, oh, it's so easy if you parry, I'm like, one, the parry button is also another button. Two, they don't really train you how to use it that well. They only train you how to use it basically on the boss before that, and still you can kind of cheat that out. So yeah.
Man.
Anyway, anyone that says that is rogue. Also, then again, I was having to use a finicky controller during the whole time, so who knows? Anyway.
Let me tell you, writing videos about games that I don't like is a blast. Getting to
Really?
write hyperbole and make it seem like anyone with the priorities straight should have to worry about Chicken Little on PS2 is great fun.
What?
Playing all those games really helps you remember how much you love the games you really do.
Yeah,
And I'll tell
how
you
much
guys,
good games
this
good.
is a game I really, really love. I mean,
In
no
order to
exaggeration when I say this.
In order to have a ceiling, you have to have a you have to have a basement or a floor, I should
Yes.
say. And a lot of those movie games are definitely a floor.
Wait. Tents. Tents don't have a floor.
Oh my god.
Some of them
Anyway,
don't.
everything has a floor.
This game is easily in my top 10 favorites of all time.
Okay.
Without further ado,
Not a hang glider.
it's time to let her rip.
I'm talking about housing, you fool.
Now, I could go over the history of this game's development, which was a rocky one.
It was
I mean,
very
this was
rocky.
the first console Metal Gear game following Metal Gear Solid 4, with Kojima working on the PSP game Peace Walker and the Metal Gear Solid HD collection. Meaning
Yeah,
that Kojima
Peace Walker
Productions
was
had largely
fun.
the ability to make
I
whatever
remember
game they
Peace
wanted as per
Walker.
Kojima's instructions, which led to a Raiden-focused game to bridge the gap of his transformation in Metal Gear Solid 4, which
Yeah.
had development issues given the amount of freedom they
Lots
had,
of
leading to them not
development
having a
issues.
clear and focused vision on what the game should be. Eventually,
Yeah.
continuing to bring in Platinum Games and focusing on their niche of high-octane character action games with amazing scores, killer combos,
Like, they
and
were just
memorable
showing this off, but they didn't know what to do with it.
Oh crap, that's just the development
Violence.
history of Metal Gear Rising. Well, what I really want
Yeah.
to focus on is our main character.
Raiden.
So, Raiden is the most controversial
Mr.
character in
Lightning
Metal
Bolt.
Gear. From a story standpoint,
Yeah.
he's an odd facet. From a
Well-
thematic standpoint, he's a phenomenal character. And from a fan perspective, he is the White Devil. Metal Gear Solid 2 is one of the biggest leaps
Armor
forward for a
Ray.
series ever. Comparing Metal Gear
Yeah.
Solid 1 to 2 is like comparing a cave painting to the Mona Lisa. Both have their
Yeah.
merits, but it's just so much further ahead. People were foaming at the mouth to see where their complex interwoven story of Metal Gear went next.
Yeah.
And they wanted more of their breakout star, Solid
The
Snake.
Snake.
He
Yep.
was really the glue that held Metal Gear Solid together. The eternally confused, gruff-voiced super spy was instantly
Yeah,
bumping
by
elbows
David
with
Harter.
Lara Croft and
Yep.
Hater.
Gex as an iconic character of the 5th generation of consoles. And with Metal Gear Solid 2 coming out so soon, people wanted more. And when they
Yep.
got it, it seemed like everything was peachy. This time, Snake's taking down a ship in the Hudson River overrun with Russians to steal a new Metal Gear, said
Pretty
to
much.
be a Metal Gear Rex killer.
Metal
A quick
Gear
revolver
Ray.
ocelot betrayal later, and Snake is presumed dead and
La
held
le lu
responsible
le
for the
lo.
whole incident. Oh boy, it looks like we're going to
Crazy.
be playing as an even edgier Snake. A man on the run from international law, hooking back up with Roy Campbell to save an oil rig that's been taken hostage by the Sons of Liberty. Who the fuck is this twink? Yes,
Yeah.
this is Snake, or
Yeah.
at least that's his code name. His real fake name is Raiden. He's a whiny, pretty boy with relationship issues and stupid hair. To say
Yeah,
people are
he
upset-
has the most animoy guy look in the entire series, like bar none. There's no one that looks more anime than him. Well, maybe one of the girls, like Fortune. But yeah,
Maybe.
Raiden had that problem of he looked too anime for this series, and it got in a series filled with crazy military men.
Also, the series hasn't gone batshit insane just yet.
If you look in the earlier series, you'd probably think that too. Well, probably
Like-
not think that.
I played through Metal Gear Solid. I played through Metal Gear 1 and 2. That was very sane compared to what happened when Raiden hit the scene.
But yeah, I do like that the theme is about misdirection, misinformation, all that, and Raiden
Oh,
is
yeah.
obviously part of that, but that didn't make anyone like him anymore.
No, because a lot of people didn't care for the nuance. We're just wondering why the fuck they were stuck with the pretty boy.
Like, they cared for the nuance, they just didn't care for the nuance involving Raiden over here.
Also, didn't like being lied to.
No one likes being lied to. But that is kind of the theme of the game. It's more relevant now more than ever, because I am constantly lied to. Anyway.
Would be an understatement. People were furious at the absolute pinnacle of machismo, Mr. Backflip off a rocket, Solid Snake himself,
Oh, yeah, he
was
did
now
that.
some dickhead named Jack. However, in the
Jack.
context of the themes of Metal Gear
The
Solid
funny
2,
thing-
it made
Yeah.
perfect sense.
Yeah, it made perfect
Balls on
sense in
Kojima's
the-
part to make a game all about lies told by people and the government, and then have the main character of the game be a lie, and all the marketing is stunning.
Is quite literally
it's
a
not
lie.
like Raiden's a bad character by any
Oh,
means.
yeah.
It's just not
He
what
lied to
anyone
himself.
wanted.
It's
This
like-
led to a
yeah.
massive backlash, which was then mocked in Metal Gear Solid 3, the best one. They made Rykov a
Yeah.
high-ranking Russian official
Yeah,
in the
that's what
game
I've
that you
heard.
need to beat up and steal the clothes
Yeah, they
off
mess
of,
with him.
with there even being specific dialogue for whether or not you kill him, as a way for Kojima to see how much people really hated Raiden. The
Really?
message came back loud and clear, and it was a resounding bullet put in the back of Rykov's head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Challenge and decided to bring back the most hated character with one goal: make him so
Make
cool
him
that
cool.
people couldn't possibly hate him anymore. In the hands of a lesser creator, this would have failed miserably.
Yeah.
In Kojima's,
Raiden. The rain transformed.
Yeah?
This is a line I repeat every once in a while when I'm in my, like, samurai design. Because lightning is my element, so I go, I am lightning, the rain transformed.
Calmly rubs a balloon on you for static electricity.
You're immediately shocked and frozen and all. Because you get hit by lightning on top of your head. Anyway.
I'm
Yeah,
holding water.
anyway. What I'm about to say is, Metal Gear Solid 4 was my first game in my first foray into the series, so I was confused. I'm just like, that dude's cool, and Snake is cool, and these some really cool weapons, and I'm gonna shoot my way through this stealth game.
I imagine that the story made no fucking sense because 4 was
no.
entirely about tying up loose ends.
Oh no, I barely paid attention to that. I eventually started skipping cutscenes because I didn't know what the hell was happening.
That's basically what I did with Halo.
Now that is a mistake.
I started on 2 at like age 12. I didn't care what was going on.
That was a mistake. Don't worry, we'll rectify that one day. Anyway, back into it. He was still really cool in this. They made him a cyborg ninja. Also, these Geks still freak me out.
the in-lore reason for Raiden becoming a breakdancing
Yeah.
Terminator is that he was captured by the Patriots and experimented on and had most of his body replaced with cybernetics to make him into a cyborg. But the much more interesting out-of-lore reason was that Grey Fox was really cool, but he's
Yeah.
dead. But Olga was really cool, and she's
dead.
Raiden isn't dead, but he's not
But
really
good
cool.
cool.
Making him a cyborg ninja fixed that, and now he's awesome.
Pretty
Metal Gear
much.
Solid
Yeah.
is already sillier than your average Metal Gear game, which is saying a lot. So
Yeah.
Raiden suddenly showing up and being 10
I mean, we
times
had
cooler than he
cyborg
should
ninjas
be was
before.
honestly to be expected.
Actually, this did go crazy before. What are you talking about? We had crazy people with revolvers and different kinds of weapons screaming out and controlling wolves. And then we have cyborg ninjas. It was going crazy before that. What are you talking
I
about?
wouldn't say the cyborg ninja's that weird.
What about the lady controlling wolves with her mind?
She wasn't really controlling them so much as just they were well trained.
Oh, please.
You can use a handkerchief with her scent and they won't attack you. That is not mind control. That is being well trained.
Okay, how about Vulcan Raven and the Raven suddenly eating him?
Alaska, man.
Exactly. You lose again.
That's just what Alaska's like.
No.
Opinions
What I'm
were
saying
slowly
is, the
turning
worst
on
you had to
Raiden,
really
but he
put
still wasn't
any
universally
leverage at it
beloved,
is
and
Psycho
that
Mantis.
wasn't gonna stand. The gap in time between Metal Gear Solid 2
Oh, yeah,
and
Psycho
4 was
Mantis.
ripe to plug up with a game.
You
And that
use
was the
Psycho-
plan. And if you want to hear about Rising's
What's
development,
it?
Psycho
Yeah, can you think of any way Psycho Mantis makes sense?
No, but ultimately, a psychic is pretty tame compared to motherfucking vampires, rollerblading explosive experts,
Not
fucking
really.
lightning controlling military generals who later became a guy too fucking angry to die, so he's on fire.
Please rewind to the beginning of the video and listen for real this time. Don't be on your phone! Before getting into the game, I have to get into the game.
No.
This crunchy outer shell won't keep me
What the fuck?
Raiden. I got the game for Christmas in 2013, so
yeah, I
it
never
still
got
has
it,
most
unfortunately.
Of the
I had to
promo
play.
paper that came with it. Join the Konami loyalty program. What a silly couple words to put
No.
together. Why would they do that? This box art is good and all, highlights the most important part of the game. Cutting. Although I think the image on the back would have worked better. Probably.
Yeah.
At least there's a lot of online information for this game with no online features.
I never got to
Before it
play
came
it as
out,
a
people
game
thought
as
the
a
box
kid.
art was gonna look like this.
That would have been way better.
Oh, yeah.
Like
So the game starts with Raiden's new life as a bodyguard working
Mr.
for Maverick,
Thunderbolt.
a really evil-sounding private military company that's currently escorting an African prime minister. Don't ask what his name is. You're not going to get to know him for much longer. Until
Yeah.
the convoy is attacked by the living proof that Brazilians know how to double jump and aren't sharing it with us, Jetstream Sam. He not safe for works this guy into chunks before turning his pearly whites towards us. We escape, but Raiden stays back to hold off the assassins. Here we sorta get introduced to the game's combat. It's not too different now as opposed to later, but the key difference is in blade mode. Other than that, we got all the tools we'll be
Blade
working
mode
with
can
for
be
the rest of the
complicated
game.
at times.
We got a light and heavy swing, ninja run, and a jump. You can string together heavy and light attacks to build up a combo and deal more damage. The swordplay in this game is fantastic.
It really is. It's very fun.
Enemy, cutting them up as you get accustomed to the controls. You can deflect bullets with a ninja run, slide into people to launch them. Before anything else, this game makes you feel invincible like a total Long Dong Johnson.
Nice.
That Long Dong Johnsonness gets put to the ultimate test as Raiden's one.
Yeah, this is the first boss. It's kind of insane.
Jesus, 5?
Oh, I'm
Metal
aware.
Gear Ray, outfitted with new weapons by the
I just can't believe they have another Metal Gear Ray.
We also get introduced to
Okay,
Desperado's
it's
leader,
mass-produced
Dr.
model?
Eggman himself, Sundowner. He manages to
Ah,
kidnap
yeah,
the Prime
Sundowner.
Minister and let
Give
us know
war
his plan
a
to start the new
chance.
international incident in order to jumpstart the economy out of the funk it fell into after Metal Gear Solid 4. He is
But yeah, he's trying to upstart the economy through war, which is not how economies actually work. Unless you're talking about the war economy. But then again,
guess.
then maybe it's the economy in Metal Gear Solid? I don't know, because war is usually bad for economies. Anyway. But yeah, Sundowner is a crazy character with a southern accent. I'm not sure why his
And
southern
scissors.
accent. I honestly thought he was originally going to have like a revolver or something, and maybe that was the idea. But yeah, he looks more like a samurai in his final
You
form.
expected him to have a revolver
Because he
in
has
the ninja sword game.
Because he has a southern accent. When someone makes them with a southern accent, they usually make them into a cowboy. But then again, cowboys have a lot of the same things as Ronins do, usually in terms of filmography, so maybe that was the point. Anyway.
Probably.
He escapes and sicks the Metal Gear on us, and we get possibly the best first boss in a video game. I mean it when I say this game is
a really
banging
good
on all
song.
cylinders
Not my
from the
favorite, but it's
starting
a good
gate.
song.
Metal Gear Ray can do a lot of things. He can charge,
Rules of
fire
Nature is
bullets,
very good.
stomp, and blast you with his plasma cannon. Here's where the game shows you one of its more clever aspects. Every boss is designed to teach you a lesson. Instead of other games that teach you what you learned just previously to make sure you were paying attention, Rising manages to put your basic skills to the test each and every time. This time it quizzes you on if you've learned the game's most vital command, the parry. Dodging is for Google Gaga babies who can't change their own diapers like I do.
Well, I wouldn't say it really
hold up their swords and hit them
matters
instead.
if you parry here.
Parrying is done by holding the joystick in the direction of an
Why is
oncoming
his
attack
feet so
and pressing the
squishy?
light attack. Time
I
it
don't
just right
know.
and you can react with a super strong attack. Here you can parry the stomps and charge attack to weaken its
Like,
legs and
parries at
head,
this
or
point
take out those
aren't
pesky
really
turrets.
that
Even though you're just an
important.
ant to this thing, you feel almighty as you take it apart bit by bit before it swings a sword arm at you and you...
Rules of Nature! This is completely insane. Once the sun comes up.
Did I mention the soundtrack? Gotta
Yeah.
admit, it's a pretty frugal business move on Konami's part to make this fantastic album and then build an awesome hack and slash game around it.
Pretty
The
much,
music in
'cause
this
that game is really good.
phenomenal, and I'll go over each boss track as we get to them. As for Rules of Nature, it says a lot about this soundtrack that this is one of the most iconic songs from it, and it might be the weakest. Obviously, the Rules of Nature!
Yeah, everyone loves
The rest of
that.
the song is just a little...
I can't believe he put a VTuber in. I think I know that one. That was one from Niji Sanji, I think.
I see.
Anyway. But yeah. I don't really know much about Niji Sanji, but yeah, the soundtrack is amazing. I listen to it while I'm at work sometimes, because just that or
I used
Anarchy
to listen to
Reigns.
I used to listen to it whilst I built Lego.
That's the strange dichotomy, but yeah. Well, actually, Anarchy Reigns, for those who don't know, if you want to look up cool cyborg designs, look up Anarchy Reigns. Or the music. That game deserves so much more than what it got. Because all the cyborgs look super cool. Also, look up, God damn it, I can't remember the name off the top of my head. The game that came before that, before Anarchy Reigns. All the music and designs and whatnot are super cool, and you should all check them out. And unfortunately, the game that came before it was only a Wii game, so it's Mad World. Mad World is the name of the game. We need to have Met play that at some point.
Probably. I need to get a copy, but I have a Wii U to run it.
It's a Mad World. It's really good, and the soundtrack is even better. Anyway, let's go back into this.
In all honesty, kind of quiet, no real impressive instrumental parts, but it's still like an 8 out of 10, but when you grade on a bell curve with the rest of Rising, well,
yeah,
someone's got to keep the back of the class warm, right? Back to the battle.
Rules of Nature
sets the tone for the
is
rest of the game as he picks
not
up
as great as the other just because everything else is so good.
Slicing it in half.
Which is insane.
Would have been a great opening. Down Sundowner, he leaps back to life and back into the fight. But this stage is a little less cool since you're on equal footing, but using your blade mode to cut up these missiles as they fly at you is really cool.
I never thought about that.
The missiles because, of course, you can do that.
Of course you can.
Has to come back down to finish the fight where we...
Oh yeah, this part is
Got a little
annoying.
sidetracked there and forgot we kind of have a prime minister to save. Sundowner shows that only bad guys smile and escapes on a train, though
they all have
Raiden
that
is close
weird kind
behind.
of smile.
Before we get a chance, though, the prime minister is killed and we have to fight
He
Sam
loves
while
his
Sundowner
job.
flees. If the raid fight was meant to show you how amazing Raiden is, the Jetstream Sam fight is meant to show you just how out of his depth Raiden is. You can't land
he's
a
an
hit
upgrade.
on Sam. He
He's an
counters
upgrade
you, shrugs
cyborg.
off your hits, treats you like you're a novice, cause you are. You just picked up the controller and killed a remote control toy. Good job, buddy. Here's a swordsman, and he's better than you. He's so much better than you, he manages to cut off your arm and slice out your eye. This also reinforces how this game does a fantastic job knowing just how silly everything is.
I mean, if you're gonna have silly, be fun with.
After that, you get to stew in the fact that Sam is...
Oh yeah, he did lose his arm before. Well, yeah, he lost both of his arms. I remember that. But if you're gonna be silly, have fun with it. Even if you're gonna do the whole like super edgy thing. If you're gonna do the super edgy thing, have fun with it. As long as you're having fun with your ideas, then at least it'll go somewhere good, right?
Yeah.
It's something you gotta do.
Also, Sam's accent is sexy as hell.
That wasn't where I was going. It's a Brazilian accent. Anyway.
You, but better. You can swing your
Yeah.
sword, but if you couldn't beat him with 2 arms, what chance do you have with 1?
Yeah.
He's about to finish you off before Maverick Head Boris comes in to save you. Kept you waiting, huh? You said the line! So the tutorial to the game ends with Raiden and the player left battered and beaten. 2 minutes later, we meet up with Raiden and his body's been upgraded. His new body is prepared for everything Desperado has planned since they've recently started working with a vicious revolutionary army.
Of course
Raiden
they
is
have.
sent out to put a stop to it and... Oh, he's just so fucking cool! So anyone that knows me knows that I can't get enough of edgy characters. They're my bread and butter. I love
understand
every one of
it.
them, and this is no exception. Raiden's new body is such a stark contrast from the old one, which went for more of a realistic, not too out of place on the battlefield design. He'll have spikes on his shoulders, studded stiletto heels. We'll give him a barcode on his forehead, a big dumb eye patch, and a jaw guard, which is the only design that actually has both form and function, apparently. We then...
I do like the jaw guard. But yeah, I was a little confused about, why does he have an eye patch? Couldn't they just give him a new eye?
Nah, eye patch.
Alright, I guess we go with that, but yeah. Overall, it's a cool design. I like the original one a little bit more, but this one is still cool.
Get into a fight with a group of mercs and see the game's selling point. Blade time. At the cost of this bar under your health, you can slow down time and precisely cut anyone and anything. Anyone and anything.
Except for the cat.
This feels amazing, and even today with tech constantly advancing, feels like a feature that no other game has replicated just right. Getting to hack away at people and make them into unipods never stops being fun and satisfying.
Yeah,
And if
it's
you
always
cut
fun to
somebody
do that.
just right, you get to rip out their spines and drink the sweet electrolytes that come from them. The enemies are just vending machines with health inside them that you can
Pretty
cut them
much.
mid-combo if things get dicey to stay in the fight. Because of that, fights can feel really frenetic and full of danger without ever feeling overwhelming since you're never truly out of options. We also get introduced to the geckos. They're much tankier and faster than the regular grunts, but just like an MGS4, they're a little more than fodder in Raiden's way.
Pretty much.
Here we see one of the
They're
game's
kind of tough, but they're not that
less
tough.
fun parts. Stealth. It's a Metal Gear game, so
It's
stealth is going to be in its
optional.
marrow, regardless of whether or not it should be there. The game doesn't prioritize stealth by any means. You're supposed to run through and dice up your opponents into hamburger, but there are segments where they awkwardly shuffle up and say, I'd really appreciate if you got in the box. And I like going in the box, but not in a game as fast as this.
Yeah, it's
After saving
fast-paced.
civilians and fighting through more geckos, we lock horns with our first boss, LQ-84I, or Blade
Blade Wolf, I love this song. It's one of my favorites. I'm my own master now. Yeah. I've always liked wolves, but this is something that considered making me definitely stay a wolf.
first regular
You
boss. Bosses
fond
from
of
here on out are gonna be a
wolves?
lot more like
I
Blade
never
Wolf.
would have guessed.
Oh, shut up. But this is what
Never.
really got me on the track of wolves. I will cut you in half with a chainsaw. Anyway.
Counterpoint. The red guy.
What?
The red guy with magnets. What the fuck was
Magneto?
his name again?
Magneto?
No, in this game.
Monsoon?
The one who, yeah, the guy you can't cut.
Yeah.
I'll do that at you.
That's not really how he works, but okay. I don't think you can, actually.
I'm a robot. I'll figure it out.
That's not how
Then
it
Metal
works.
Gear Reg.
Yeah, I
Well, if
love
get to
this
chat with
song.
Blade Wolf. He says he can question his directives, but he can't stray from them. And Raiden
Yeah.
asks,
What's the meaning of life? Why are we here?
I do like you screwing with him. I am here to kill you.
Here to kill you.
Blade Wolf is super acrobatic. He'll flip all around the arena, launch himself at you, gore you with the chainsaw
Yeah.
on the back because, stealth ops, chainsaw. After you take him down a bit,
Yep.
you call in reinforcements to
Yeah.
deal with you, but
They're
that
calling
just
a few
further
extra
solidifies
soldiers.
their status as walking health packs. After a few more rounds of that,
Pretty
you
much.
hack
Yeah.
to pieces
They're
and the
used for
fight's
health.
over. Another fight with a helicopter where the game not so subtly implies you should give sub-weapons a try later, and there's more sneaking and more slashing.
There's
I mean, heavy
sub-weapons?
grunts at this
Yes!
point, you have to
Wait,
soften up.
wait, did you not know, actually, or you're screwing with me?
I did not know because no one who ever presents this game ever mentions that there's fucking sub-weapons.
Oh, yeah. Also, after each boss, you get their weapons, too. Well, you can buy them off the store, but yeah.
Gotcha.
Maybe we'll force you to play this, too, but yeah. We'll see how it goes.
Up a bit before you cut.
Then you can
Once
know
we
my
run through a
pain.
wrecked building, we spy on the head of the revolutionaries, Dulceyev,
Hey,
talking
dude, I do
to
have a
some
copy.
woman. Raiden
Yeah.
gets scared after hearing he can get cooties from over 500 yards away, and she leaves. Once we
She's
make it
kinda
closer and
hot.
sneak through a factory, we make it to the top of the refinery and square up to
Mistral's not really my
Mistral.
type.
She's a member of the
Oh, yeah.
Winds of Destruction.
It's her
group
hair
within
mostly for
Desperado,
me
whose
that
whole
turns
purpose
me
is to
off.
look really cool and have weird powers, because I don't
Yeah.
see how they're going to help with the
I don't
day-to-day.
know.
The Winds of Destruction are each...
Furniture play has never been my kind of thing.
I wasn't even mentioning that or thinking about that, but thank you for reminding me.
She literally sits on her fucking geckos, dude.
Those aren't geckos.
Mini geckos.
That's not what they're called. Anyway.
I'm looking it up.
But yeah, her design is okay, but as the third boss, she's alright. Nothing really too bad, honestly.
Runnings of a company. Her ability is to take the arms of dwarf geckos for herself to make new arms and a
Dwarf
bow.
geckos.
This boss fight is another one that teaches you a few lessons. When you manage
She
to
has
destroy
this-
her
I think
staff,
she was
it's
trying to
called
go for an
retreats to get more
Assura
arms to make a new
designs.
one. When a gecko doesn't have any
Probably.
arms, it just becomes a high-speed, deadly soccer ball for her to smack at you.
That was very
Just
silly.
Make sure your parrying is fast enough to keep up with what's coming. What's worse is that the geckos left
But her
behind are
song
still
is
gonna try to
really
attack you.
good.
If they jump on you, you'll be stunned.
Oh, yeah,
and
I used to
unable
listen to it all the
move.
time.
A quick shake, and they'll be off, but it leaves you a sitting duck. Second phase has
Yeah.
you fighting in a 2D plane with Mistral dashing all around the place. This one is a little too cramped and can leave you getting hit from a direction you aren't looking. Final phase, though, is pretty
Yeah.
open, and now's the
The
time
final
to talk
phase
about a
is
theme
honestly
screenwriter
pretty
made.
easy.
This is easily one of the best.
Oh, this is
songs
the part
in
where the
whole
vocals
game.
come
The
in.
instruments sound fantastic. The vocals are so well done, and the actual lyrics show one of Rising's best little additions. Since
Oh.
they're all lyrical tracks, you actually have to have something to say, so all the boss themes use their lyrics to explain their motivations.
Pretty much.
For Mistral, it's all about how she feels out of place anywhere but on the battlefield. It's the one place she's at home.
It's the one place she belongs,
is
or that she
especially
thinks
ironic
so.
when you end the fight by turning her into an ice
And I
statue
can
and chipping her
understand that.
away.
Because it's the thing of, quite literally, there's some people that quite literally found their place in life, like who found their place and feel out of place being anywhere else. I feel like this is what I was made to do. And taking that away from them is, not good for them or you, honestly. But in the war, it's probably not the good place to be.
Dulce
The
takes the news
freeze
well.
is coming. Oh yeah, he had a crush on her.
You may be asking, what does this have to do with the wider story of Metal Gear Rising other than
Yeah.
knocking off a member of Desperado? So we're
Nothing.
in Mexico now, don't ask, and Raiden's investigating claims that there's human trafficking going on down in the sewers. However, Raiden, being a hulking murder golem, might tip off a few people, so he gets a disguise to blend in.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kev. I'll blend right in.
Dear God.
Like a chameleon, Raiden. Also, we have a patched-up Blade Wolf as our new Scooby-Doo sidekick.
I
Why
do
did we
love
do
his
that?
new design
To be honest,
more.
It's just nice to have company that doesn't bore us. So we go down to the yucky sewers to find out where they're holding all the
By the way, that is a costume you can keep.
I know. Most of the playthroughs I watched back in the day kept it.
Yeah. And then he just goes down there saying, adios, amigos. And I'm like, okay, Raiden, I will allow this as a Mexican. I will allow you to do this.
people they're tracking.
I'm being silly, guys, but yeah. This is... Him with the sombrero is actually great.
Blade Wolf scouts ahead, and we're left to fight a new enemy type. These big gorilla guys are tough, have a lot of
They're
unparable attacks, ranged
interesting.
attacks, and can leap away and ruin your lock-on. Later on, then you have to fight
They
them
are
in
annoying,
packs.
though.
If the standard grunt was too easy for you, don't worry, they have you covered. I should also mention the upgrades. Between missions, you get the chance to enhance Raiden's body to hit harder, take more hits, gain energy, and learn new sword techniques. 2, I made sure to get quickly where the launcher to do juggle combos, and the defensive offensive, which is technically not a dodge, it's legally distinct. You attack
Oh
two,
my
I'm not a taper,
God.
baby, I swear. After cutting through the sewers, we meet up with this young man waxing vanillasophical and have to save him from these raptor UGs with this
Cowabunga.
nasty
Oh, I just realized he said go Cowabunga Ninja. He's making a Ninja Turtles reference.
Indeed.
I didn't get that.
Fucking
originally.
Donatello right here, fighting in the sewers.
Oh my God. He would be Leonardo.
Stun you. Once you turn them into the chunks they were always meant to be, we go back to ask the
Oh, yeah,
boy what
those
he's
weird
doing there,
things.
and- Oh, that's at least a 30-year-old man trying to sound 10. I can't speak on the authenticity of his Guyanese accent, but I will say it's embarrassing to have people subtitle you. So he lets us know that whoever's doing this
Yeah.
is taking homeless kids and gutting their organs. For what, we don't know, but there's like 2 reasons gutting kid organs will ever be acceptable, and this
What?
isn't one of them. We hoof it deeper into
What?
the sewers before realizing the lab is the
You heard
sewers
him.
and sneak deeper in. There we get to see...
Oh, this is
This
horrifying.
place
I
is
remember this.
compliant. So that's a lot of children brains.
Eyes.
So we link up with the dwarf gecko to get in deeper and open a door. I can tell that they want me to take out the guards as the gecko and just walk through as Raiden, but
Oh my God.
my finger slipped. The boss for this
My
level
finger
is a
slipped.
Mech. He's the heaviest and toughest of the mini bosses and is gonna
Yeah.
show up pretty frequently as a regular enemy from now on. He's not
He's
too
basically
tough,
a
but you have to
miniature
watch out for
tank.
the missile since ninja
I just realized he's basically an
Raiden's a miniature tank.
I mean, he's... No, this dude is quite literally like a miniature little armored core.
running can't deflect.
Actually, I think that's
In
about
the
the amount
next
of
one,
metal
we
in
find
the
out
tank.
where they're holding all the kids. But
I
the
don't
cell they're in
know.
is filling up with chloroform, and that's gonna kill him if we don't get inside. But the doctor behind the scooping has George and is holding him hostage. We can't let delightful little George be hurt, so we slice through his arm to cut the doctor down. Now, the next step should be to stroll into World Marshal, the people working with Desperado, and get all the baby brains back, right?
Yeah.
Well, not so fast, cowboy. Through legal loopholes and smudging, there isn't a crime happening here.
What?
Sundowner, Desperado, and World Marshal
Yep.
are managing to steal children's organs
I
in the
don't-
sewers of Mexico and are doing it legally.
I don't know how
Not to
that would be
mention the fact
possible.
that World Marshal privatized the police force in America, so we can't tell them about it. That's like telling World Marshal what World Marshal is doing. So Raiden gets his Ted Kaczynski.
Oh, yeah,
badge
this
on
is
and
where
does a
we're
little
doing
domestic
this.
terrorism on World Marshal.
Basically,
He
we're
formally
just
resigns
full
from
on going
Maverick as to
crazy.
not drag them down with him, but he's not going to
Yep.
let children have their brains taken away. Fair enough, cause. So the next mission starts in the streets of Denver, Colorado, where World Marshal is. The enemy switch
live
over
here.
from Desperado goons
Really?
to Denver's finest. Luckily,
Indeed.
my sword doesn't discriminate, and they're all made the
Obviously,
same
we
bloody
must
mess
destroy
by
the
the
city.
end. The game's back in its power
No.
fantasy mode, since now we're fighting two of
Get
the
the
last
sandwich
boss
places.
at once and handling it fairly well. Boris tells us that officially we're through, but we'll still be working together over private comms.
Alright.
Turns out gutting kids is enough to make anyone's tummy turn.
Well,
if there's
yeah.
a single guy behind this door when it opens, they're gonna be history.
Oh.
We have to partake in a little platforming. To
Oh,
make
I
sure
remember
we don't
this.
The city below. Let me try that again. We get introduced to the Hammer Goon now. These guys love their
Oh,
variable
yeah,
attacks, and
these
just
guys, I
like the gorillas
forgot
are
about.
tanky. There are also these bird robots, which are a pain. Even with the
Yeah,
lock
they're
on, you
annoying.
don't really get to attack them with
I'm
any
glad
comfort.
birds aren't real.
They're fast, aren't easy to hit with rocket
That-
launchers, and attack with pea shooters
I'm not
that
gonna dignify
technically
that.
ruin your combo. After rooftop running, we crash down in an elevator shaft and have to navigate a pitch-dark underground tunnel.
Oh.
Okay, I think now is as good a time as any to put this up.
What?
Let me just,
What is it?
Yeah, okay, the game is currently in its sunshine phase. What's a sunshine phase?
What?
Well, Super Mario Sunshine is a fun game, right? Trust me, there's a point here. There are tons of parts of Sunshine that when
okay.
you're replaying it, you think, oh, I don't have to replay that level again, do I? The answer is
Oh.
always yes. Watermelon, lily pad, pachinko, volcano. It's still a good game, but there are parts that you'd rather rip a tooth out than play again.
Yeah.
That's a sunshine
Yeah.
part. Good games have sunshine parts. Your favorite game probably has a really bad sunshine part to it, and this is Risings. I'll take it down when the game
yeah.
starts to be good again. This pitch dark segment is annoying since this is when the game puts your
You can't
nose in
see
it, and
shit.
Metal Gear is about stealth. You try and sneak around, but you can't see anything. You can only see with your AR visor. But
Yeah.
you can't sneak and use your AR visor at the same time, so you're just sort of flying by the seat of your pants to go undetected.
Pretty much.
Except every time, without fail, you're gonna get spotted. Games are at their most frustrating when it feels like you don't actually have control over what you're doing, and this is that.
Yeah.
But whatever, you get
Yeah.
out and the Brazilian beast Sam is back. It's gotta be on like a soundstage or something. They keyed him out really well. He talks about how you're actually a real stinker for killing people. Ryan thinks he's a superhero when he's just a crazed murderer like the rest of them. He tells Ryan to really listen to the people he's fighting, and then
Yeah.
he starts listening to their thoughts, which
This was
makes
a
me
very-
real stinker for killing people. Ryan thinks he's a superhero when he's just a crazed murderer like the rest of them. He tells Ryan to really listen to the people he's fighting, and then he starts listening to their thoughts.
This was a bit weird and confusing. My main thought was that
They
this
like
is-
Castlevania, don't they?
my thought was probably this is more him messing with Raiden's head, and to the point where Raiden's starting to think this is what he's hearing. Which,
funk.
yeah, it's causing some bad funk in his head. Basically, he's screwing with him the whole time through this, but yeah. I mean, he's honestly doing the thing of, well, you're killing as well. But yeah.
Which is a thing he can do. It turns out we found Denver's two most tragic cops, and Ryan
Yeah,
starts to wonder if
that's-
it's right to kill people who didn't have a choice. I mean, you can still juggle them after this, but Ryan's getting a little
Yeah.
groggy and can't swing his sword good afterwards. Because of that, we
He's
just
not
sort of
feeling well.
uselessly amble to the next fight. The next fight is with our
Yeah.
next twin of destruction, Monsoon, and he
The only
He's
thing
got a lot
he's had
to
to drink
say.
for the last
Let's just
24
get this
hours
part
is
out of the way
people.
What'd you say?
The only thing he's had to drink for the last 24 hours is people.
Oh my god. I didn't need to hear that. But anyway, let's continue on.
It's
And
my
now-
favorite fucking Raiden meme from that one guy.
That's
Oh,
good, but
God.
then there's the rest of his speech. He tells Raiden he's a jerk and then asks who's gonna save the weak from the guy who saves the weak. Raiden rightly retorts that they're the one putting vulnerable people in the position to fight Raiden in the first place. They're
Yeah.
taking people in bad situations and putting them in worse ones. Monsoon's response is basically, sucks to suck, brah. His
Pretty
outlook on
much.
life is extremely nihilistic. There's no humanity in being human, just mean
What?
spread from one person to another. While he has a point that Raiden is using his noble goals as justification for killing, any kind of moralizing is dinged ever so slightly by the fact that there's a giant vault of baby brains directly behind him.
Yeah.
They're
It's quite literally like, you can't say anything with all the shit you've done. Literally.
Indeed.
All the shit you guys have done, literally. It's like one of the memes of like, Batman, like, looking up the Riddler's riddles, and he's like, Batman, he's like, counterpoint? You're evil. And he's like, oh, so that That excuses you cheating. He says, in every conceivable way.
Plan is cartoonishly evil. All that's left is tying Raiden's wife to railroad tracks.
Pretty much.
And yet now they're talking down to you, trying to get you to see from the side of the baby brain scoopers.
Yeah.
On the one hand, yeah, he's got a point, but on the other hand, don't be a dick about it. Even Sam can't stand this guy. The scene does pick up when Raiden finally admits that Monsoon has a point, and he delivers maybe the dumbest and best line in the game. Takes the scene that's supposed to be the serious one and turns it into maybe the goofiest.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
Yeah.
I'm saying Jack
Is back. Like that laugh is goofy.
Now you're just being nasty.
I don't really understand why Monsoon seems so disturbed by Raiden doing everything he just described. We were literally just talking about this. He cuts through the guards like
Because he
hot
didn't
butter
think
and
he would
squares
go
up
that
for the main
far.
fight with Monsoon, and I want to like it more than I do, but I think this is the worst fight in the game. So
Yeah.
Monsoon's gimmick is that he can split up into chunks like Buggy from One Piece. How can you cut the man who can't be cut? Waiting. The worst part of Metal Gear Rising is when you're not cutting stuff up and Monsoon either makes you wait out the periods where he can't be hit or use an EMP grenade. Problem
much.
there is that despite the fact that he's as thin as a piece of spaghetti, Monsoon has crazy durability. He tanks so much damage despite how I focused on upgrading my attack strength through the whole game.
Yeah.
I like Monsoon as an idea, but I just
I mean, I love his soundtrack. His song is great. Yeah. Anyway.
a lot more when he doesn't say or do anything. He's a great figurine.
Yeah,
It's not
he's
all
a great
bad, though, since
figurine.
he does still teach you like the other fights did. Instead of being a lesson, though, this is a test. Consider this fight the graduation for parrying. If you can't parry Monsoon when he attacks you in the mist, you're never gonna beat the game.
I
This
did
segment
parry
is one
him
of the most
during this.
iconic in the whole game for a reason.
still
but the
annoying.
bass is pulse pounding and keeps you on your toes whenever he shows up again. This is, of course, helped by his song, Stains of Time.
Yeah.
It's an absolute bop of a track. If you aren't into dubstep and electro noise, skip it. But it's got such a drop when Monsoon activates his second form. The lyrics, too,
Yeah.
all about how the peaceful rain that's meant to wash away anger and hatred isn't working until it leaves Monsoon in his suffering. It reflects how
Yeah.
Monsoon is a survivor of the Cambodian genocide.
Wait,
How
wait,
did
what?
I know that? Well, you gotta go to the codec, obviously. This
Oh.
is another bad part of the game. A lot of the story behind the bosses, and the game in general, is hidden behind codec calls. Obviously, they can't have the bosses tell you all this without sounding weird, and they can't interrupt the gameplay with hour-long cutscenes like MGS4.
Because no one wants
Still,
that.
you have to go out of your way to talk to Kevin to learn anything. Raiden's whole gaggle of mouth breathers, Sans, Doctor, and Wolf are just really boring, and I never want to hear anything they have to say.
I don't know what
Like
Kevin even
anything on
does.
The codec. It's a shame
Kevin
since these
things.
bosses do have characters and stories, but they make it way too hard to learn any of it. Luckily, after we see the true power of magnetism, we hack up Monsoon and enter World Marshal HQ. You want to know why I think this whole segment of the story is bad? You want to know how this whole story arc of Raiden battling with his inner turmoil over killing ends? He just doesn't care. Yeah, next scene we're back to hacking guys up into ribbons. You're totally cool with it. So
Yeah, it
what
was
was
crazy.
the point of bringing it up in the first place?
I have no idea.
Obviously, this game doesn't value its story like other Metal Gear Solid games, but still, it feels more like the
it's a
game
fun
made
hack
up a
and slash
reason for
game.
Raiden to have a problem rather than it happening naturally. So we strut into World Marshal HQ after realizing everyone else was wrong and our sombrero was actually really cool. We give the lady working the desk the standard American greeting and go check out Ripper Mode.
Oh, because
Turns
she's a
out
robot.
Monsoon did teach Raiden a little something, and that's if he swings his sword a little harder, people crumple like sandcastles.
Oh, yeah,
Ripper
this
mode
is
your
Ripper
devil
mode.
trigger. Raiden gets really strong.
I
kills
only
through
wish
normal
it was
enemies
more
like they're
visual,
nothing, and
if you
won't
know what I
lie,
mean.
It feels fantastic to use, especially for crowd control. Unfortunately, it chews through your Zandatsu bar like crazy and can still be knocked around by RPGs.
Yeah,
This
that's
level
annoying.
really made me hate fighting these things because they only ever come from out of your view and ruin combos. Fight like a man! So we try to ride up in the elevator, but we can't because it's embarrassed and can't perform when the front door is open. So we go back and figure out that this game came out in 2013, and for tax purposes,
Oh
they put a
my
turret
god.
section.
I
This
forgot
lasts for
about this.
Maybe a minute before we just go back and get in the elevator anyway. This
Yeah.
elevator isn't elevating enough, though, so we gotta get on a different one, a freight elevator. One that can hold the 10 billion baby brains they're keeping upstairs.
Wonderful.
Actually, do manage to stealth my way through this next part and even do it in style. Before it all comes
with the
tumbling
sombrero.
down. After that, they attempt to make you play the video game Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, but I know better and ninja run the hell out of Dodge. See, now why couldn't we just have a debate about this? We get back inside the building and enter a Japanese garden. This is literally only here because one of the heads of World Marshal is a big weeb and wants to look at Japanese stuff.
Pretty much.
In the culture of Ultra we are, we soak this place up like a sponge. There's a secret hidden at the top of the pagoda, and I always make a point to get it when I play through this.
Really?
Fuck Japan, I hate it here. So we make it to the elevator finally, get set.
But yeah, I think we have to stop for now because we have a thing to go to, don't we?
Yep,
So.
we do. I was about to say something.
Don't worry. Thank you all so much, and we'll continue this later. Have fun, guys, and take care of yourselves. Hello! We're back with this again. It's been a little bit of time. Anyway, what were you going to say?
Finally.
Finally! We can be the ninja cyborg we always wanted to be, which, honestly, there should be more games about ninja cyborgs or samurai cyborgs, because that's just a fun concept. Let's be honest here.
Finally get sent wave after wave.
Oh, I remember this
God.
one.
While we wait to reach the outer atmosphere, if
Dude.
the wait time is anything to go by. How
I
tall
remember
is this building?
Yeah.
When you get ready to jump off to safety, some dwarf geckos try to slow us down before we can jump
Command
out of
video
here.
track
That's
my
right.
fucking-
So Sundowner's right behind
Oh.
us, and we're about to beat him
Yeah.
up. You look different,
Sorry.
Sundowner. Before we
Oh,
throw
yeah.
down with the big bald baddie, we gotta get
I forgot that they just use robots and 3D printed their bodies.
Huh.
through Mistral's
Yeah,
spare
this is
body.
what-
This
yeah,
doesn't take as long
spare
as the last
body,
one, but at the
which
same
is
time, if you could please
strange.
just make me mash the button when I'm stunned. This is a hack and slash game, not Mario Party. So we scrap Mistral and move on. 36 minutes on the second after
You
fighting
fool.
Monsoon, we have a rematch. He just needed a nap and some juice. Good
Yeah,
as
and
new.
then we have to...
He's still doing
I feel like it was a little overkill to have Monsoon show up again, but then again, I think the reason was because they hadn't showed off any of the other bosses, or so they couldn't do a boss rush, because I feel like they wanted to do a boss rush here, you know? By having all the old ones, but we had only faced 2 of them at this point. Sundowner hadn't even come up yet, so they didn't really get the chance. Also, that they just have spare bodies lying around that they can hook AIs into is kind of scary.
Monsoon things,
Especially,
but he can't talk anymore. So
These were
this
professional killers.
Yeah.
The professional mercenary team. They were replaced in like a minute.
Yeah, but I will say that it does give off the fact that these AIs aren't that good, considering how fast we kill them.
Fair.
So they aren't nearly as good
is
as the
better than
original.
the original. This does serve as a really nice way to show you how far you've come. These
Yeah.
two gave you so much trouble before, and now you're slicing through them like they're nothing. We finally made it to the other side of the door, and see, I was not kidding. This is
Yeah.
an entire field trip worth of orphan brains we're talking about, and it's
More
not
than-
even the
it's
only
an entire
one.
school.
Sundowner gives us a speech on why baby brain stealing is actually badass.
Yeah.
Sundowner's speech is so much more bearable than Monsoon's because everything he says is dripping with big head energy that you can't
Yeah,
help but
he's
love it. He
an
introduces
idiot.
himself as an
Yep.
honest warmonger. How can you not love this guy?
He says,
And of
"Kids are
course, he has his
cruel,
own
Jack,
soundbites free for the
and I'm in
use.
touch with my inner child."
Disease is about to scatter.
Please don't talk about touching children.
Good old days out.
Yeah. He's, Sundowner's fucking weird. I kind of hate that he has a southern accent, because I don't know what they're going for here, but like I said, maybe they're just trying to do Western Samurai.
After 9/11.
I wonder what he
After
sound...
Raiden remembers which 9/11 he's talking about, we get to the
I
most
wonder
pointless
what-
gameplay section as we just run forward like
I wonder what he
2
sounds in
steps and get to the
Japanese.
boss. Sundowner talked a big
it's true.
game all game, and it's finally time to put his money where his mouth is. He also has one of Rising's classic, is this a really cool line or a really dumb one?
Like I said,
It's a bit of both.
and I'm very in touch with my inner child.
I'd say
However,
both.
Before the boss starts proper,
Both?
you have to
We'll
get
go
through
with
his
both.
array of shields. This is the boss's first lesson.
It gives him
You're
a
gonna
sort
have
of
to
like
get really
samurai
good at
armor
precision
look.
cutting really quickly.
I
Up until
suck at
this point,
precision
you've had
cutting,
it
so-
easy, but if you aren't razor precise, you're
So I
gonna
had to get
blow up.
good.
This section is super tense. You have to cut with surgical accuracy to avoid damage.
Yeah.
Once you break through, oh my god, the drop is so good.
This is one of my favorite ones. I mean, they're all my favorites, so... And then he goes Mantis Blade.
Red sun over
Red Sun might
When
be the
the
best song in the game, but that's a
overflow
title that
is
fluctuates with the wind, so I can't say for certain. The lyrics are really interesting in how instead of being sung from the boss's perspective, they're sung from the perspective of one of Sundowner's victims. He's a merciless killing machine who rips everything apart.
Yeah.
This segment is just as dangerous as the last one since he busts out his pincer attack, which is not just unparryable, but has stupid long range.
Oh yeah, it
The only
does.
problem with this segment is that as soon as it really gets going, it's over. Except Sundowner ain't going down that easy and uses a helicopter to blast ya. So now we gotta use a bird to fly back
This
up
was
and give him
crazy.
the shave he so desperately needs.
The
So
shade
it
is
turns
so
out, based
desperately
on
needs.
lucid guessing, Raiden decides he needs to head to Pakistan to stop the president from, I don't even know at this point, being eaten by cyber ants. So Doctor comes to pick us up and give us a ride to the rocket so that we can travel to Pakistan in like 2 seconds. However, we slip on a bar of soap and fall all the way back down to Mission 3. Here we
Oh my
run through
God.
the entire
Oh yeah,
of the
this.
Denver level, but in reverse. Any more time spent talking about it would be more time than they spent designing the level. So Raiden
I
finds
mean,
just about the
it's-
goofiest
yeah,
vehicle
kind
he
of.
possibly could and is on his way to the
I
lab.
mean, he chose a
Of course, it
motorcycle.
couldn't be
The
that
coolest
easy, as
vehicle he
the
could have
final wind of
chosen.
destruction is in our way. Sam and Raiden go to the side of the road
Jetstream
and square up
Sam
for the
isn't really a
game's
very-
coolest fight. In a game where
What is a Jetstream exactly?
I think it's like a slipstream, except it's behind jets.
I guess so.
So infinitely less friction relative to a usual slipstream.
All of them kind of had, well, natural phenomenon kind of names, so Jetstream
You're right.
Sam
flexing
is a
gun
little
is a core
different.
feature, it doesn't get cooler than two guys
I
in
mean-
the middle of nowhere having
I tried to look up Jetstream
The
and it
game knows how much
autofilled
of an
Sam.
important moment this
Oh,
is,
of
as it
course
lets
it
you
is.
slowly walk forward to
Narrow
meet
band
Sam
of strong
and
wind.
the scripted tumbleweed.
Of
This
course
thing
there's a
happens every
tumbleweed.
time
We're
the
supposed to
fight
be a
starts,
showdown
and
in the
I love
dawn
that
like
it's
we're
there.
cowboys.
This is about as fair a fight the game can
Or
give
samurai.
you. Sam has all the same abilities you do. No minions, no speeches,
Uh.
no shields. It's you and Sam. For your part, you better take off any sub-weapons you have and de-equip your healing paste. You're going one-on-one, mano-a-mano,
Really?
no tricks. The best part comes in his song, The Only Thing I Know for Real. It's
Yeah, it
easily
is
in the
really
top 3
good.
songs in the game, but what
It's
pushes
really
it
good,
over
but
the
this
edge
fight
the
is
fact
so
that
horrible.
Every boss in the game has the lyrics kick in when they start taking you seriously. It happens with
Oh,
all of them.
yeah.
In your first fight with Sam, the lyrics never play because he isn't taking you seriously. In this fight, it starts with the lyrics because now you're worthy of them. However, when you eventually knock the sword out of his hands, the
This is where it
lyrics
gets
stop.
dirty.
If he was treating you as a real threat, he'd go and pick it back up, but he's fine with just judo flipping you into oblivion.
Yeah.
When he does get the sword back, though, he takes the fight to
I
a
did
whole
eventually
new
kill him,
level.
but god
The
damn
fight
was he
doesn't even
annoying.
end with you getting to cut Sam into pieces. A simple stab is all it takes, and he's down. One last extremely Brazilian wink later, and Sam is gone.
Yeah.
And then Raiden
They always have
realizes
face masks also.
he isn't a cyborg. Sam has been
What?
10 times you the entire game, and now, after he's gone, you realize that his arm is the only cybernetic part of his body.
What?
This man has been
I
using
don't
pure
remember
human
this.
spirit to style
Yep.
on robots this entire
That's insane!
time.
That is not possible!
Wolf wonders if this needed
He's
to
better
happen,
than you.
and Raiden doesn't
You gotta
exactly
face
have an
facts,
answer.
Wolfie.
We take a sword to remember him by, and then run to the launch site.
Well, he can eat
forgetting
it
that,
because I'm
we
tired
took
of
a
dealing with
motorcycle
him.
Here. Get the bike. When we finally
Yeah,
get
why
to the
did we
launch site,
run away from
encounter
the
you,
motorcycle?
The viewer. Yes,
Oh, yeah.
this is a personal attack.
Fuck you
just-
too, Bumbles.
I just like he's... He is just reading
All
anime,
the game's budget
looking
that
at
should have been
anime
spent
pics.
on the last few levels was spent on this guy's mouth. You could fit a bowling ball in there. It turns out
He
the
was
person
just eating
making this
pizza.
our super
Oh,
duper
yeah,
rocket is
Sunny!
Snake and Otacon's adopted
Always good
daughter
to see
and
her.
professional person Raiden saved. We hop aboard and
It's
blast
kind of crazy that Sunny now works on making, well, basically supersonic jets.
Well, I mean, job's a job.
Yeah, I just remember her from 4, where she became a scared little child and finally grew into a person. And it was, well, it was nice to see, you know? So
She
it's
has
nice.
2 dads, and they're both awesome.
Yeah.
off to Pakistan. Here we encounter 3 completely worthless rooms before it turns out Wolf stubbed his entire body on a table corner when...
Yeah, this is a little strange how he got beat up. Well,
Metal Gear Excelsior. I love them, just how fucking meta this thing is.
You knew it. Out of that thing
Pause
pops
for a second.
Colorado senators...
It's outright called out. This thing isn't a Metal Gear. It can't fire a nuke. And Armstrong dismisses it. It's about the branding and like, yeah, the people buy it because it says Metal Gear on it,
yeah. It's a
which
giant...
is, you know, a discussion that a lot of people probably had about Revengeance before realizing that Revengeance was really fucking cool.
I mean, that does happen where people will just buy something because they believe it's a reliable brand. Quite literally. Like, because it has the name on it. And obviously no one's going to strap a nuke to any of these things because that's now illegal. Even though people still do it. But anyway.
I mean, wasn't the entire point of a Metal Gear to skirt around the legality of a nuclear-armed weapon?
More or less. A little bit of the less.
Because like, now, railgun, we're not firing a warhead.
I mean, if you really want to get technical, the Rays were supposed to kill the Rexes. Or Rex in
So they're
general.
not nuclear-armed either?
They don't have nuclear capabilities. They just have lasers and guns and missiles and can go underwater. Ray's a little crazy. But I did like the giant mecha fight in 4. That was unnecessary, but god damn it, was it great.
That's fair.
It was a dinosaur mecha fight. It's like a plesiosaur battling a T-Rex. You don't know why... You don't know why it's happening, but you know it's awesome and there's guns involved.
Armstrong, whose only appearance before this was as the person in the cutscene that was so inconsequential that I just skipped it. He tells us we're too late to stop him. The story about American soldiers being killed in Pakistan's out, and now they're baying for blood. Twitter isn't gonna like this one bit. Raiden and Armstrong proceed to have a debate about the financial stability and economics behind a war economy. Well, and I cannot stress this part, they are a cyborg ninja and supervillain senator, respectively.
Yeah.
So Armstrong hops into his giant grasshopper robot and we start the fight with Metal Gear Excelsis. The boss
I don't really like the
extremely
design of this
frustrating
one.
in how, like Monsoon, you aren't allowed to hit
It's
the
just a
boss
giant
all the time,
spider.
but I would very much like to start playing the game now, please. The sheer spectacle makes up for it. You are a dust bunny to this thing, but you are parrying attacks bigger than most houses, and it feels so cool! Running up the legs, slashing the joints, and getting to wail on its head is amazing. The song 2, Collective Consciousness, is another one not sung from the boss's perspective.
Someone
It's
set
like
this
an
to the
anthem for what
SpongeBob
Armstrong's
game,
trying
by
to
the
build.
way.
So once we give it a proper thrashing,
Believable. This would actually look really well, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Don't you worry.
This is so stupid, but it's great.
Yeah.
And you really want me to go back to playing Chicken Little after showing me this? So somehow Armstrong is completely unharmed, and he comes out to fight. Raiden hand to hand.
He's doing
where he-
sumo style stretching for some reason, even though he's supposed to be a footballer. This is such a strange turn. Does he think? Because I don't know what's happening right there.
Can't write anything funnier than the game shows you. You've seen it plenty, but it never gets old.
Played college ball, you know. That's a cushy Ivy League school.
Oh, fuck. He tears off the mask, which, that's just mean. I don't know how nanomachines can do this.
It's simple.
Try University of Texas. Could have gone pro if I hadn't joined the Navy. I'm not what.
Here's the thing, yeah, most of the best-known footballers are actually do show up from Texas. It's mostly where they train or where people pick up from them. It's a weird thing where a lot of people get their footballers from Texas. It's a thing.
One of those beltway pansies. I could break the president in two with my bare hands.
This is so fucking weird.
Life.
Give him the
Don't
heat.
fuck with this, Senator.
Please tell me you heard that, by the way.
So we try to cut him
What?
up
What
like
did you just say? Or that you said
Well,
this?
not something I said.
Oh, this is the
Well,
greatest day of
someone
my
said.
life.
When Raiden was blind. No, not the greatest. The weirdest.
This is the weirdest day. It's definitely would
Right
be.
after you said.
I thought it was.
Right after what you.
Okay.
Considering this is like man missing a jaw, yeah.
This is
Yeah.
definitely the
You would any
weirdest day of my
politician,
life.
but via strategic blackface, he manages to put us on the back foot. This may be the best series of cutscenes ever. It is everything Rising is.
So many
It's
memes.
aggressively goofy, slapping you in the
Oh,
face
yeah.
over and over with the dumbest stuff you've ever seen
But
that
so
becomes the
damn
best thing you've
cool.
ever seen.
I have a dream.
It has long, overly verbose speeches delivered about why
Yeah.
blowing up everything is actually a really cool thing, and it has Armstrong, which more games should try adding, really.
Fable!
Fable has appeared.
I'm
What do you
tired.
think?
I know you are.
Why do you bother me?
Because you like hanging out with me?
No.
Well,
Oh my
I
god.
don't write my own speeches.
You debate the ethics of
Wow.
Armstrong's version of America, which
Not
would
when I'm
devolve into
tired.
just Mad Max within 43 minutes, while
Like,
doing the
don't
Hogan
ever
Warrior
get
Test
injured,
of
not I'll
Strength
get
for
the whip, but I'm
WrestleMania
like,
6. Armstrong
God.
is so genuinely happy when
Oh.
Ryan pretends to go along with him, and then he just turns around. It's just, oh
Yeah,
man,
this is so
cutscene.
fucking
We
strange.
get back to the gameplay and. Yeah, but we get a chance to throw hands with Armstrong one-on-one.
The meme is coming, Fable.
Standing.
If I do this for another hour, your history, buckaroo. So after reaching a critical mass of quotable moments, the Metal Gear blows up and
Pretty
Armstrong's
much.
gonna deal the finishing blow. However, just before the finishing purple nurple, Blade Wolf returns with Sam's sword and throws it to us. We then get a line that I'm not willing to negotiate with the terrorists that say it's a so dumb it's cool line. It's the rawest line in the game.
Armstrong! Ugh.
I said my sword was a tool of justice. Not used in anger.
I remember this
Not
line.
used for vengeance. But now I'm not so sure.
Okay, sure.
And
And
besides,
besides,
this
this
isn't
isn't
my
my soul.
Your final battle is against the strongest senator in the world, and it's unbelievable.
I do like
This man
Sam's
punches you with
sword. Whenever I think
volcanoes,
about him,
does
his sword
dash
is
attacks,
cool.
Elbow drops you, leads Colorado. He does it all. He does
He
super
elbow
kicks and
drops
slaps
you.
his
Yeah,
leg
we
with
elected
pro
this guy.
wrestling. How does this
Yes.
man exist? The boss is
Oh my
not here to
days.
make you
my
learn.
God.
This is the final exam, and you'd better ace everything from
Yeah,
dodges
that
to
part is
parries to
really
precise
fucking hard on
slashes.
me.
His boss theme
Because I
has
could
to
never
be
get
his
to
way.
do
It's
exactly
so
what I
good.
want for the
The lyrics,
slashes.
though, aren't about Armstrong. This is Raiden's theme. This is all about the journey
Really?
we've been on over the past, and I cannot
never
stress this
realized
enough,
it.
24 hours. When you finally get Armstrong's 200% health down to its last bit, you need to parry his hits before ripping out his super heart. His
Super
final words
heart.
confirm that Raiden's taken his words to heart. And speaking of heart, so the news report that Colorado Senator Armstrong got exploded in Pakistan by a cyber ninja for some reason, and Vector lets us know that the baby brains are in good hands. His hands. Those aren't good hands. The game ends with Raiden leaving to go fight his own war for a change, which directly leads into Metal Gear Rising 2, which directly leads me to the bottom of this bottle. God damn you to hell, Konami!
Yeah, there's not going to be a 2. They won't allow it. Okay, what we have here? We have the ninja cards. Okay, those cards are kind of cool. Most of them are useless, though.
Yeah, it's really not really a solid archetype.
So the game's over, and
I wish they
there
were
are
a
things
solid
I don't
archetype.
like. Most of Denver, of course, is
Yeah.
terrible, and the level isn't that great.
What is it, Fable?
You didn't say the meme. You lied to me.
Which meme?
Unbelievable.
You sound so broken up about it.
You literally said you literally said something like he's about to say the meme, Fable. You didn't say the meme. You lied to me.
Oh my god.
Neither. The combat is far from the deepest
Not
hack
your
and
fault, but
slash. It's
still,
pretty
you
short
lied
and
to
doesn't
me.
feature a lot of
Oh my
enemy
God.
variety. But I can't hear you over the sound of how many robots I can throw in this game. Substance should usually take precedent over style in a game, but when a game like this, or Mad World, or every other Platinum
Mad
and
World
Clover
is a
game
good
ever
game.
made, it's impossible to ignore.
One day I'll
And the
have you listen
core
to
of Rising's
soundtrack.
combat is such a blast that it has enough substance to make the style feel
And
even
force you to
better.
play.
It's silly, it's over the top, it's brutal, it's Metal Gear, and I love Metal Gear.
So do I.
Konami.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it feels like the most accurate
Yeah.
thing to say. Fuck Konami. Fable, what are your
Literally
thoughts
trying to-
with what little you have?
Literally, Konami really screwed up really badly, and the fact that Kojima got messed over by them is also really messed up as well.
yeah.
But I think Konami is also probably owned by the Yakuza at this point, so I don't know what to say about that.
Huh.
Probably, yeah.
I haven't heard about that, but well then. Huh.
Yeah, no, seriously, one of the big companies in Japan is literally owned by the Yakuza, so it's kind of funny but also really depressing.
That sounds depressing. Anyway. Thank you all so much. If you want to check out these guys, or if you say, hey, we want more Fable in the videos, as I said before in the last video, say down below, we want more Fable. If you want more Met in the videos, well, say the same thing for him. Or if you want both, just put the word both in like all caps, with like 3
Nah,
exclamation points.
you gotta
Hey,
pay
bro.
me. Also, Mac lied to me, guys, so I
Oh
don't
my
think I can hang
God.
out with him anymore.
I didn't lie to you, Fable.
You literally said, Fable, here comes the meme, and the meme didn't happen. You
Which
lied
meme
by
are you
omission.
referring to? There's like 20 memes from Metal Gear Solid.
And the nano machines, that's the only important meme.
What? There's also the one about the memes.
Don't
Anyway.
get it, Mac. You just don't get it.
No, I really don't. So, thank you all so much. If you like what we're doing here, please do consider following. Consider subscribing. Consider checking out our Twitch where we react live, where I stream. Anyway,
Indeed.
thank you all so much. I'll see you later.